This is part 2 of chapter 8. In this video, we're going to discuss capitalism. Jeff Bezos, the guy who owns Amazon, last time I checked, it was worth uh, $145 billion. $145 billion. Let's say you work and you make $100,000 every year. But let's say you make $1 million every year. Let's say you save every single penny. You'll never make $145 billion. Even if you save every single penny you make every day, you will never make $145 billion. So how can somebody has so much money? This man has so much money, if he were to live for 500 years, he will always have money left. This raises the question, should society allow one person to have that much money? Money means power, money means influence. Isn't it anti-democratic for one person to have that much money, that much power? If you have so much money, you can bully a small country. You could create your own nuclear weapons, actually, except it's illegal. You can't do that, but he has the money and the wealth to do that. Should there be a limit on how much money people can have? For example, we could pass a law that says, well, once you have $25 billion, your own money, whatever extra money you make, it should be used for the greater good. Let's say the government should use it to spend it in education, healthcare, something productive. Is it punishing people, rich people? Should somebody like that pay a higher percentage of taxes? Is it a bad thing? Um, the first thing I want you to notice is that money is actually not real. Money is an illusion. Money is like the menu in a restaurant. The menu is a symbol of the food, but the menu is not food. Likewise, money is a symbol of wealth, but money is not wealth. In fact, if you have wealth, you have no you don't need any money. Wealth refers to the things you need to survive: food, water, shelter, health, education, friendship. If I'm stuck on some island with you, you have money, I have bread and water, I will survive because I have wealth, I have bread and water. You have money, but if there's nothing to buy, then you see money is nothing. So money is an illusion, but this illusion is the most powerful thing in the world. We think life, family, friendship, love, those things are important. But money determines everything. Whether you could get an education, healthcare, the apartment, the house, even the girl, sometime. So how can an illusion becomes the most important thing in the world? We confuse money with wealth. This is why, let's say on a Friday night, you go to Walmart and then you just grab a few things. The cashier tells you, well, $65. You feel depressed. $65 for three things? Yes. In your mind, you feel like you're losing something. You're losing, but you forget you're actually gaining the wealth, the actual food, the bread, the water is what you actually need to survive. Let's say whenever you need something, if you clap your hand twice, you had it. Would you need money? No. Then this means if you need a car, you just clap your hands twice. If you need food, if you need it in your house, you just clap your hands twice. When who would go to work? Then you see you wouldn't need money. So money is supposed to be a symbol of wealth, not wealth itself, but over time the two get confused we take money for wealth, and money has more actually value than wealth. Okay. Now, whether or not somebody who's worth $455 billion should pay more in taxes, it depends on which theory that you're going to use. Socialism would say yes, Jeff Bezos should pay a higher percentage in taxation. Libertarianism, capitalism would say no. So let's get to capitalism, which is the economic system that we have in the United States. Capitalism means private ownership of the means of production. Private ownership of the means of production. The means of production refer to raw materials, land, resources, big businesses, factories, technologies, energy resources. The things we use, the things we work with, and transform them into food, clothing, shelter. Those things are called means of production. Again, raw materials, land, factories, big banks, big businesses, the things we transform into food, clothing, shelter, those things, we call them means of productions. So the question is, who should own, who should control the means of production? Capitalism says the means of production should be owned and controlled privately by individuals, not by the government. Um, Karl Marx has been was the most vocal critic of capitalism. He thought capitalism was the most efficient system ever devised. Capitalism produces more goods than any system ever devised by mankind. In fact, if you simply go to your supermarket, you'll see there's so many stuff. There's no way you could buy all the stuff. We produce so much, so much, so much. He thought in terms of production, efficiency, this is the best system ever produced by mankind. But he thought capitalism had a big problem. In fact, there's a list of problems that Karl Marx thought capitalism had. So let's go over them one by one. First, he thought capitalism was irrational in two ways. First, because production is for profit instead of use and need. Even though capitalism is the most efficient system, it produces more than any other system in the world, but it can't fairly distribute the things it produces because it produces for profit, not use, not need. It produces for profit, not use, not need. What does that mean? If I'm homeless, at the same time, there are many, many apartments that stay vacant in the city. They stay vacant for months. Can I go in those apartments and sleep for a few days? No. Why not? Because the apartments were built not for my need first, but to make a profit from my need. If I'm hungry, Publix throws food away every night. Can I go ahead and just get the food? No. The food was produced to make profit. If I don't have a car, there are certain cars that stay in the dealerships for months and for years. Will they just give a car to me? No, the cars were built to make a profit. So we produce not to take care of the needs of people, but to make a profit of their needs. Now, there's nothing wrong with profit. In fact, if a business doesn't make any profit, the business will die. But he thought the emphasis on profit leads to exploitation of the workers. Exploitation of the workers. Let's say you work for me, have a business. I'm paying you $10 per hour, $10 per hour, and you work 8 hours a day. At the end of the week, that's at the end of the day, that's um, $80 at the end of the day, and at the end of the week, you make $400. But notice, even though at the end of the day you make $80, you're actually worth more than that. The value of your work is way more than what I pay you because I have to make a profit. Let's say you actually work for $200. That's the value you create for $200, but I only pay you $80 at the end of the day. So there's 120 left for me. If at the end of the week you work 40 hours a week, then you get paid, let's say, $400 a week. But notice for the entire week, the value you create is $1,000. So there's $600 left for me, the person who owns that business. And if I have, let's say, 1,000 employees, at the end of the week, all of them together get paid $400,000. But what they produce, the value of their work in 1 week is actually $1 million. 1 million, and I paid them 400,000. So this means there's $600,000 left for me, the business owner. Now, if the business is big enough, so I'm not the only person that owns it. Now, if there was $600,000 left at the end of 1 week, that's profit, that's surplus. What do I do with all this money? Me, who own the business, I pay my taxes from this money, repairs from this money. If some equipment break, I have to fix them. I pay to fix them from this money. Also, I want the business to grow and expand. So from this money, I'm going to open another business, another location, pay them $10 an hour, then make way more profit. Shareholders, if I give them some of this money, they make some. But notice, you are the one who actually creating the wealth for me. Because there's no way me, one person, I can make $1 million working in a week. Again, I'm paying you $10 an hour. If I have 1,000 workers, at the end of the week, they get paid altogether 400,000. But the value of their work is $1 million. So there's $600,000 left for me who owns that business. But notice, working $10 an hour, I can't make $1 million in a week. So therefore, this means then you are the one that is producing all the wealth. And from this profit, you know what else I do? I give money to the politicians. Let's say I don't want to pay taxes, or I want my taxes to be low. If I know James is running for office and James promises he's going to lower taxes on businesses, that's my guy. I'm going to invest in his campaign. So this is the relationship between money and politics. This is why sometimes when lawmakers pass laws, you don't even know sometimes who's really passing the law, who's really writing those laws. Because the business people, they literally bribe lawmakers sometimes to pass laws that benefit them. So this is one reason Karl Marx thought that the system is naturally based on exploitation. It's not that I'm a bad person. No, it's just that for me to make profit, I have to pay you less than what you deserve. I have to pay you less than the value of the work you produce every day. That's how I make profit. Right? Also, since we produce for profit, even though there's plenty of food, people could be starving if they don't have the money to buy the food. Again, in this system, for example, I can't produce my own food because I can't farm. I don't have land. For me to get food, there's a place called the supermarket. They sell food. I have to go there and buy food. But I can't just go there because I need money. I can't make my own money. So if you have a business, I work for you 8 hours a day. Working is like renting yourself. I rent myself to you 8 hours a day. You give me some money. But it's not my business, it's your business. This means whatever extra money, profit, surplus is made, it's yours, not mine. Do you get a raise whenever gas price goes up? No. Now, even if the business makes way, way more money every week, it's not your money. To be fair, some good businesses at the end of the year, they give you a bonus or they give you a pay raise, yes. But depending on the corporation business you work for, they may simply take all the money, pay shareholders, but you, the actual worker creating most of the value, you don't really get paid a lot of money. Number three, this is why we have job outsourcing. Companies close down businesses in America, take the jobs to Mexico, China, Bangladesh, somewhere else, and pay the people less. If I have a business, again, you're working for me, and I'm paying you, let's say, $45 per hour. I'm paying you 45 bucks an hour. That's good money. But I know if I take the business to a third world country, I can pay them 50 cents to do exactly the same job you're doing. I'm paying you 45 bucks an hour, and I can pay them 50 cents for the exact same labor. Then why should I leave my business here and make sure I close down the business? I take the factories to that country and I pay them 50 cents an hour. Is it exploitation? Well, not my business. Let me give you um, an example of that. To make an iPhone, it used to be about 240, 250 to make one. iPhones are made mostly in China. There was a documentary about this stuff where children work 12, 14 hours a day to assemble those phones. Some of them begin to kill themselves. They would just jump off the building and die. So they decided to put a net outside the building in case they jump, so the net can catch them so they don't die. And when they bring those iPhones back here to America, an iPhone is over $1,000. It doesn't cost even $300 to make them. So Apple could sell the iPhones for a bit cheaper. But why would they lower the price if you're willing to pay for it? If you knew slave labor was used to make your cell phones, your clothing, would you still buy those cell phones? You'll probably see a movie called Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond. Diamonds are mined mostly in Africa. They literally reduce children to slavery to mine those diamonds. and then they transport them to the market of the Western world. These are the things people put in the teeth. If you're getting married, you buy your girlfriend a diamond ring. The products we use, whether it's food, clothing, technology, cell phones, do you know where they come from? What if it's all based on exploitation of poor people, poor children, women? What if they destroy the environment to produce all those things? Doesn't matter. So if you produce only for profit, you don't mind. You don't mind. You will close down the business here, fire everybody, take the business somewhere else, pay them a few pennies or 50 cents a day for the same labor. It's more profit for you. That's why those corporations like Amazon, Apple, they have lots of money. Money they don't even know what to do with. Lots of it. Also, Karl Marx thought capitalism is unstable, insecure. From time to time, there were some big crashes. 1929, the stock market collapsed. 2008, there's something happened. Also, um, it teaches us to be anxious, competitive. Now, our culture, we say time is money. Whenever I'm sitting home, I'm not doing anything, I feel guilty because in my mind, I'm like, I should be working. But how about leisure time? Shouldn't you just relax one day, don't do anything? Just chill, enjoy yourself. We have a working conscience. We just gotta be working and working and working all the time. But he also thought capitalism leads to alienation. This was the biggest problem. Alienation. Alienation is the condition of being at war, conflict with your own nature, the products of your own labor and your own workers. There are people who work in fields in Africa, cocoa fields. They work in work hours and hours, but they never taste cocoa. They never taste chocolate. If you work in a bakery, you're being paid $10 an hour. The bread you produce is not yours. It's for the business. This means your actual labor, you don't taste it. It's taken away from you and you're given a paycheck for it. If I'm a farmer back then, I farm, I can see the product of my work. It's mine and I can take it somewhere else and sell it. But in most businesses nowadays, whatever you produce doesn't really belong to you. It belongs to the business, the corporation, and you're given some money for it. And again, the money you're given is less than what you're actually worth, is less than what you deserve. But worse, which one of you can say with honesty that you love your job? Which one of you, whenever you're going to work, you feel happy, you feel excited? Notice if I say, let's go to work, sorry, if I say, let's go by the beach, we are excited. If I say, let's go by the movies, let's go to the club and drink, you are excited. If I say, let's go to work, you feel depressed. Many of the jobs we have, they're mechanical. That is, they make you dumb. I used to work for Starbucks back then, making lattes and frappuccinos. It was fun. To make a latte, you press a button, the coffee fell inside a cup, you steam the milk, that's it. Let's say you've been making lattes for 3 years. You've been pressing this button for 3 years. You press it 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. How do you get better at pressing a button? What mental skills do you use to press a button? So you almost become a machine because you're just doing the same thing again and again, pressing that damn button. I don't have any problem with Starbucks. In fact, those jobs, we need them. But I want you to see this is why those jobs won't pay you a lot of money because they don't require any critical thinking skills. Again, you almost become like a machine. You simply do it again, again, and again, and again. So you thought many jobs we have, they're just like that. They don't really use talents. In fact, their jobs are worse our talents. Your job should match your talents. Your job should match your passion and talents. But we work just to pay the bills most of the time. At work, you feel homeless. You're always looking at the time. Is it time yet for me to go home? You can't wait for Friday to come along so you can take a break. You don't really feel that you belong there. If you love your job, that's not for you. But you see that most people don't really love their jobs. They do it just to pay the bills. And notice they can fire you at any time. Unless you belong to some powerful unions, your job can let you go out in time. This is one reason why corporations sometimes they tend to be against the workers forming unions because if you have unions, if you're part of one, then you have a bit of power. You have people fighting for you, representing you. You ever request a day off, let's say your birthday, and you all already make plans for next weekend, that's your birthday. Then you look at the schedule, then you see your name on it. Hmm. Imagine you go to work every day, 8 hours a day, for 5 days a week. And you do it not for 5 years, but for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years, for 40, for 50 years. Your entire life. Are we living to work or are we working to live? If you spend 40, 50 years of your life, 8 hours a day working, what is the purpose of this life? When you're 65, that's when the government says take a break. Enjoy life at 65. When there's no energy left, there's not much strength left. Bad prostate, bad teeth. You're not gonna go to the club at 65 and shake it. So is the goal of life retirement? Just work until we retire. When you're 65, some of us begin to shake. You can't even drink a little wine, ice cream. I challenge you, if you stop by Walmart tonight, you can see exactly this. Walmart has 18 cashiers, 18 registers. only 3 registers are open and the lines are long. You stay in line for like 20 minutes. Once you get to the cashier, look at their face. You could see, you can feel frustration on their faces. Some have been there for 10 hours. Nobody would do this. We do it because we gotta pay the bills. You would prefer to be having a barbecue by the pool with your children. But for you to have the barbecue by the pool with your kids, you have to work. This is why ancient people thought working was a curse. In the Bible, after Adam and Eve sinned, they disobeyed God. Part of their punishment was that God cursed the world. God said, Adam, from now on you're just gonna have to work hard and hard and hard. In some mythologies, ancient people thought the gods made us so we can work for them. If I'm a god, I don't really work. So many people really thought work was a curse. But in our culture, we say work is a blessing. It is a blessing because if you don't work, you don't eat, you can't care for yourself, and you don't really want to depend on the government. So therefore, we have to work. Right? So even though capitalism is a very efficient system, again, it produces a lot. It doesn't mean it doesn't have any problem. In fact, is everything for profit really? If value means money, does that mean things we can't make money with, they have no value? Does that mean the homeless man, because he has no money, he has no value? When we meet people, we ask them, what do you do for a living? We don't ask them, who are you? We ask them, what do you do? What you do determines how much money you have, and this determines whether or not you have value. How about beautiful things? How about beauty? Should we destroy beauty for profit? Should we destroy nature as long as we make a profit? This is one of the reasons why we're having these crises, climate change. We try to possess nature as if nature was something that is for us, ours, we can own it. And we quickly realize we actually can't. Some things we should simply contemplate them, admire them, enjoy them, not try to possess them, not try to make a profit off of them.